opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel lending team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694552.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today brought to you by Commerce for a Cause, a great organization. Love to promote Commerce for a Cause. No, I don't own them. I have no ownership interest in the organization. What is it? It's very, very simple. If you take credit cards, if you have a small business, you probably take credit cards. If you have a big business, you take credit cards too. Credit card companies charge you a processing fee. Where does that money go to? Well, certainly it goes to the big banks or the processing company. Commerce for a Cause, they will match your rates, but on top of that, they're going to give you 20% to go to the charity of your choice. What an easy way of just giving back to the community. So how do you find a perfect real estate agent? I saw this report this morning, and I thought it would be very, very interesting to bring this up and share just a few minutes or a few seconds of this with you. How do you find the perfect real estate agent if you're looking to buy or sell a house? Most people, how do they do it? They talk to a friend. Did the friend have a good experience or a bad experience? Did the friend know what a good experience or a bad experience is? Did they get the right advice or did they get poor advice and not know that it was poor advice? Did they leave money on the table? I've seen all of those things happen. How do you protect yourself? Well, one of the easy ways, obviously, I tell you all the time, 800-306-1990. Call me. I can find out in a heartbeat. If you're in the sound of my voice, I probably know a real estate agent in your area who I would recommend, who I would allow to work with my family, which is one of the methods I use to whether I would let them work with you or suggest they work with you. If I don't know somebody in the area, then obviously I can find somebody through our channels of other people. Hiring an agent, you want them to make sure they know the market. Buying, selling, It's the biggest investment most of us will ever make. Dave Ramsey, financial guru, obviously we follow him on some of our affiliates. Quote he made, when getting help with money, whether it's insurance, real estate, or investments, you should always look for someone with the heart of a teacher, not the heart of a salesman, unquote. Great comment from Dave Ramsey. Think about that. If they're looking for their commission, do you think they're looking out for you? If they're doing a lot of business, their commission is going to come. Zig Ziglar made the comment, you can make a whole lot of money by helping other people get what they want. Just think about that one for a minute. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. Interesting times that we get to have a conversation here. It's somebody that I have known. We tried to get together for a long time to try and get Tanya Brown on the show. Her schedule, my schedule. You're running all over the world, so I just sit in our little tiny offices here.
Yeah, but you're getting stuff done.
We try. Everybody tries.
We all are. We all are.
So you've had quite a journey.
I have.
Tell us a little bit about.
Am.
You still. We're all on a journey, right?
We're all on a journey.
So tell us a little bit about your background and where we would know you from. I know I see the picture here. You wrote a book and On with Larry King, and I see pictures of Michael Jackson, Robin Williams.
Yep, and that's what I'm talking about, where, we all have adversity, Ron, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's losing a job, a divorce, or maybe you're a loved one who is battling with some sort of mental illness. We all have some sort of adversity, and what I've noticed from my own personal experience is that, and I've experienced all of these, where Lady Gaga, she came public and talked about her addiction with marijuana. So self-medication is not something that's going to get you through a hard time.
Sure.
And 10 years ago, actually 11 years ago this October, I attempted a suicide because I was going to over-medicate myself with Klonopin.
Wow.
Yeah. And isolation, like we did with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson isolated himself up in the Neverland Ranch, right?
Right.
Well, I isolated myself, which is a key symptom of people who are battling with depression, and we can't isolate. I know it is the hardest thing not to when you're battling with depression, but man, I'm telling you, if you can get out of bed, which is the hardest thing when you're battling, and
Sure.
I'm speaking from personal experience, where you just try to open up your front door and look up at the sky, look at a tree, do something, but whatever you do, try not to isolate yourself. Start by going outside, just your front door. And then we have with Robin Williams, the suicidal thoughts. Again, something I battled with because I just shared with you that I attempted a suicide almost 11 years ago this year. And Robin Williams and myself were the happy faces behind depression. We put on the smiles. We're not the wound up, the doll that sits like this. We're the ones who are out in the community putting a happy face on our face, but also on the faces of others. So
that's an interesting point, because Robin Williams was putting a happy face on everybody else.
Right.
But if you look at in so many of the pictures you see now, if you look in retrospect, his eyes were never really happy eyes.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, and you know what? I've really paid attention to that, with the Facebook pictures that people have posted up on him. And you see an emptiness in his eyes. And, when eyes are the windows to the soul.
Right.
So if we just take time and actually engage with other people, but not just like engage with texting and all of this, it's like truly be present with somebody and look at them in the eye. And I'm telling you, or in the eyes, I'm telling you, you can really experience a deeper connection with somebody. And
that's a big problem in our society right now. Is I look at these devices,
it's
and
crazy.
We're all so connected, and I'm wondering if people even know how to speak to each other at all anymore.
No, you know what? In fact, I hit a little breakfast place on my way over here, and the young girl, and it's usually like the 18 to 24, 27-year-old, they talk really fast, and they don't know how to enunciate, and I firmly believe, because everybody is so used to communicating through text messages.
Communicate with your thumbs.
Yep, exactly. Look, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's become part of our nonverbal communication, but also through our social media, our computers. And we were talking about, we were talking before the segment how I had met with a psychiatrist, Dr. Tucker, and I had asked him specifically, why are we seeing more abuse, more violence more depression, more suicides, more anxiety. One, it's because of social media. I firmly believe this has always been around. It's just we're being exposed to it more. But I asked him, I said, what are like the main things that's happening right now that's contributing to all of this? And you know what he said?
What's that?
Our brains are stressed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Our brains, not we. It's like we're stressed, yes, but when you really talk about our brains are stressed, it's so true. We're overstimulated. We are way too connected. We're not taking time out for ourselves. So I came out with the Tanya formula.
And we're going to talk about that a lot, but let's talk about that.
It helps you chill out.
Yeah, that's you think about the stress. There's never that. What was the old time? Just take some time and smell the roses.
Yes. It's cliche, but it makes sense. And people, I'm telling you, if you could do it just for 10 minutes a day, you'll actually put years on your life. And less wrinkles will show up on your face. Maybe you'll get some smile lines, but rather have those than the stressful wrinkles,
yeah, I mean,
right?
the smile lines instead of the growls.
Exactly. So smell the roses.
And we were talking about the other part of it. I've talked to so many people who have been successful, and everybody's got stress, right?
Yes, yes.
And it doesn't matter whether you're fighting for that dollar because you're ready to lose a house,
right?
Or you've got multi-millions, you've got that level of stress. And each individual, I mean, my dad suffered from some stress one time, and he went to the doctor and said, my business is going great, my marriage is great, my family is great. The doctor says, yeah, there's positive stress too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it's a matter of
too
trying to figure, see, the exercise is a solution for it, getting that.
Exactly.
Getting the flow out, just letting your body catch up to your brain.
It's so true. A lot of people don't take deep breaths, and we can take a pill for anxiety, but you know what? That's just putting a Band-Aid on it. Really, the only natural cure for anxiety really is just to deep breathe. I'm telling you, let the muffin top out. You're in your car, you got to breathe anyway.
Sure.
So might as well make it a good one. And if you can do some real deep guttural breaths and, like I said, let the muffin top just out and just really breathe in and blow out as hard and as complete as you can, and notice yourself. You'll become calmer. But honestly, if people don't take time to do that, you're going to remain stressful. You're going to be remaining stressed. You're going to be putting on weight. You're going to be irritable and agitated. Just take time to do some deep breaths. Go take a walk around your building. Go take a walk up and down the street during your lunch hour. There's so much that we can do to calm ourselves down.
And when you do that, Tanya and I were talking about this as well. When you go do that walk or the calming period, leave the darn device behind. Right? I mean, it's amazing how we are all, with the debates going last night, we know that one of the most important jobs in the whole world, obviously, is President of the United States. Mm-hmm. We take care of our families and our parents and kids, the sandwich generation. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, when you really think about it, there's nothing in the world anymore that can wait. Right? I mean, it used to be, I remember when we got our first fax machine, we were just so ecstatic, right? I mean, or actually, when you got the first FedEx that came, you got it tomorrow.
Or your answering machine.
Right.
The rotary dial. I can't get to you until I get home.
Then you get the FedEx where it comes overnight. Then you get the fax machine. Well, we got a little quicker, but it's going to disappear. Now we've got instant messaging.
Oh, God. Right? It's like,
It can wait. I mean, how did the first 6,000 years of civilization do without all these things? We're going to chat about that. We've got some great solutions, though. Tanya's brought us 3 huge mistakes to avoid when you're faced with adversity and the Tanya formula. So you better not go away because you're going to miss all of that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Attention homeowners 62 and older. Do you worry if you can afford to keep your home? Are you concerned about paying all your monthly expenses? Or do you simply wish you could live a better retirement? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may qualify for a program that can help. It's called FHA Reverse Mortgage. It's insured by the federal government. You'll receive tax-free money. You aren't required to make any monthly mortgage payments, and you still own your home. Siegel Lending Team is a local leader in FHA reverse mortgages. Call free to get your free reverse mortgage guide, free custom quote. And when you call now, you can get all your questions answered by local experts. There is no monthly mortgage payment and tax-free money you can use for healthcare expenses, home improvements, or just live a better retirement with peace of mind. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-1990 to get your free reverse mortgage guide and quote. You'll also find them on the web at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Call 800-306-1990 now.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
We have plenty of stalkers.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today is brought to you by APRIS Fire and Water Detection. If you have a flood, I hope you don't, but if you do, APRIS will be there. You just need to give them a call. Or if you don't know their number, call me, 800-306-1990. American families spent 16% more on college this year. Unbelievable. I chat about this all the time just because the schools have made it very, very simple for our young people to get loans and for the parents to get loans to pay higher and higher tuition. And it's debt that's not dischargeable. So it's basically getting guaranteed payments. Mm-hmm. And now you look at families shelled out $24,164 to cover college costs during the 2014-2015 school year, compared to $20,800 the year before. Think about that, $24,100 to $20,800 in a one-year span. That's unbelievable. 16% more. Do you know anybody? I don't know I should say I know a couple, but not very many people got a 16% raise in their salary in that time period, right? If that didn't happen, then how do you afford that for 1, 2, 3, 4 kids, however many you have? Think about it. I would suggest look at the return on investment for college just like you do any other investment. And the other part of it is, unless it's a college that has an unbelievable alumni association, after you have your first one or two jobs, no one cares where you went to school. They want to know what you've done. Think about that. That's the Word on Wealth segment, again, brought to you by APRIS, Fire and Water Restoration. Give you a quickie on this one as well. Kelly Chaplin sent this over to me. The house that came back on the market. It sold very, very quickly. It's back on the market. 22712 Islamar, Lake Forest. I hope I said it right. 22712 Islamar, Lake Forest. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a $2,977 monthly payment, principal and interest. Think about that. What are you paying for rent on a 4-bedroom house in Lake Forest? New paint, carpet, window coverings, turnkey home, lowest price per square foot in the area, close to the lake. Nice. If you want some more information, here's the 2 pieces of information that you need to know on this property. Number 1, if you want to give me a call, I'll put you in touch with Kelly Chaplin. If you're not driving, because if you're driving, I don't want you to do this, but if you're not driving, you can text 22712 to 79564. You'll get a full website on the property, 22712 to 79564. That is our featured property of the day, brought to you by Kelly Chaplin Realty One Group. I'm going to continue our conversation this morning with Tanya Brown. Tanya is the youngest sister of Nicole Brown Simpson. You know some adversity in your life.
Yes.
And probably more than you want to know.
Yeah.
And probably way too much about crazy people. Right?
I'm one of them. I have papers to prove it.
Yeah, you have papers.
I have papers to prove it. You know, everybody thinks that, you know, Nicole's murder was the trigger that put me into basically a psych ward, and I'll go into that. But really, Ron, I had to bury 6 friends of mine in high school, 2 outside of high school. And one of them, Harissa, was and I dedicated a whole chapter to Harissa and Troy. Harissa, her death was a hit and run accident, and that's when I had my first bout of clinical depression. Like, looking back on it and being educated now, I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and then all of a sudden I began to eat and eat too much, and I battled with an overeating disorder, and then and that carried on for many years. And my mom would post positive affirmations everywhere, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. And you know, we live in a society where more people are more familiar now with positive affirmations and the I am statements, but I'm telling you, my mom had them everywhere, and unless you read them with intention, none of it works. You've got to really believe in what you're saying and what you're telling yourself. Otherwise, you're just reading it and you're not comprehending it. And then Troy, in 1994, then, of course, my world was turned upside down with Nicole's murder. And I don't really need to go into that. That was just like a crazy time. But I think what people don't know is, you know, we had death threats 24 hours a day. For months.
Wow.
We had security guards around our home for months. We were talking about PTSD. Still today, when there's a helicopter flying, and I'm coastal, so we get a lot of the Coast Guards.
Sure.
And anytime I hear a helicopter anywhere near my home, I'm like, oh my God. My first instinct is to look to see if they have a camera. So I still go back there in my head, because we had 6 or 7 at one time trying to get in to my family. Like, are the kids playing? What are they talking about? I mean, our family was so private, and then all of a sudden it was like very not private. And people were honing in on conversations via satellite parked across the street in an empty parking lot. So any conversation we needed to have, we would have to go down to the beach and have those private conversations.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so people don't know that. You know, this isn't just like 2 people who died or who got killed. This affected 2 families in a very extreme way. And people don't know that. But I wrote about that in my book, 10 years after my sister's murder. Actually,
you've written 2 books, right?
I'm in the process of writing my second one, which will be published here in October. The first book that came out is called Finding Peace Amid the Chaos: My Escape from Depression and Suicide. Because I just wanted to start sharing with the world that I'm ready. The more I heard about depression, anxiety, suicides, overdoses, fatal overdoses, I just said, you know what, I've got to share. I've got to share my story. And I was contacted contacted by William Croyle, my co-writer, and he helped bring out that story, because sometimes we don't even know our own story, or sometimes we don't see it.
Well, especially with all the other issues that you were going through. A lot of times you hear about these things getting suppressed.
Right.
Until somebody really knows how to get them to surface for you so you can deal with them.
Exactly. But writing the book wasn't so cathartic, because I had done that when I was in the psych unit. On October 9th in 2004, I flipped out. You said a very operative word, suppressed. And that's what I did from childhood up until October 9th, 2004. I stuffed my emotions. I suppressed it. I always wore my heart on my sleeves, but I wasn't authentic. Like, I was in pain. I had a lot of loss in my life.
Sure.
And I never really felt that. And that all came pouring out of me in a big way. I lashed out at everybody in my family. And I proceeded into my bedroom, and I poured the bottle of Klonopin in one hand and the bottle of red wine in the other. And I just said, I'm so done. Like, I'm tired of this life. Everything, like one more loss, because the trigger of one more loss was the cancellation of my wedding. My fiance at the time canceled my wedding 4 days before.
Wow.
And you think that, okay, it's a breakup, not enough for me to flip out and get sent into a psych unit, because that wasn't enough. It was everything that I never felt came pouring out of me. And so my Tanya formula, I came up with this. The T is talk about it. We need to start reaching out. You remember the old adage, reach out and touch someone?
Right.
The commercial? I don't remember who it was. But it's like, we need to do that. We need to start talking about our feelings. We're taught not how to feel anymore. You're crying, go to your room. You're crying, go to the office. It's just, go to the principal. We need to really start loving and respecting ourselves enough to reach out and talk to somebody. The A is to start paying attention on the positive. Like I was talking about earlier, in the state of depression and chaos and anxiety, it is the hardest thing to see, to put your attention on something positive. But if you just open up your front door, or you pay attention to your pet, or step outside and look at a tree or a bird, focus on something. Put your attention on something that's positive. And the N is nurture yourself. We don't take time for ourselves. We take time for everybody else. We nurture our children, our spouses, our people at work. But what about us? Take time, take a bath. If you like to garden, go garden. If you like to paint, paint. If you like to coach. Whatever that is, nurture your spirit every single day. It's so critical. And the Y is you. You scheduled me, right? We schedule our everybody else into our day, but we forget to schedule time to nurture ourselves.
That's so important right there. I mean, you hear that one a lot, especially because, and I like the way you put that, schedule time for yourself.
Schedule time for yourself.
Put it on your calendar.
That's it. Because you know what? If we don't actually write it in our calendar or text it to yourself, it won't get done. So really just start scheduling it. And there's a lot of people with a lot of busier schedules than me. And I have a busy schedule, but I never ever lose track of that. I have to nurture myself. And then the Y, okay, so that was the Y. And then the A is give gratitude. Get into the state of appreciation. Gratitude is huge. Write down 5 things that you appreciated that you were exposed to for that day. When you can get out of your own way and appreciate someone else or something else, or something you read, something that warmed your heart, write it out. I know you can find 5 things. If not 5, write down 1, right?
Well, if not 5, then you got a bigger problem.
Yes. Exactly, right.
So then focus on finding 5 for tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I suggest a lot of these things, I think the 5 things, that probably is something great to do at the end of the day. Yeah. But a lot of these things, if you do them to start your day, you're going to be a lot better off, because if you look at the things that you're thankful for, the nurturing and the taking time for yourself before your day starts,
you're setting the precedent for a positive path.
Exactly. You're going to have a great day, and you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Tanya Brown. We're going to learn more about her story, what she's doing, how she's helping others right now. We're also we've got our date night presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. We've got to get that covered. We don't want to let you down there, because we've got some good stuff there. All that. Not a lot of time though. So remember, call me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com, or call today Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL BRE number 018694552.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694552.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Stay cool at the Fox Den Bar Pool at La Casa del Zorro Resort and Spa in Borrego Springs with entertainment poolside each weekend. Check out the value summer rates at lacasadelzorro.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Get a lot of work done right now, so we're going to cover a lot of the technical stuff that we got to do to keep everybody happy. Date night. Ron Siegel Radio Date Night presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You get for date night dinner for 2 or as many as you can afford at Reunion Kitchen and Drink, but we'll give you a gift card that'll take care of dinner for 2, Reunion Kitchen and Drink, a couple of movie tickets. We've got some Starbucks cards, a little bit of fun. I think we might even have some, I don't know if you want to do this one on a date, but what the heck, husband and wife that go out to the shooting range. I think we've got a couple of beginners tick passes for the shooting range. Firearms Training Associates gave us those. So here's the question. You had to have been listening this week because you're not going to find out the answer. Who did David Meltzer suggest as his favorite hamburger place when he's at the Hall of Fame this week in Akron, Ohio. Who did David Meltzer suggest as his favorite hamburger place when he visits the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Third person to post the correct answer, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. I'm watching it right now. See if you get it. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. That's the only place that the answer will count. So if you post it on any of our other sites, sorry. Winner need be present to win. Just kidding about that one. All you got to do is just post the answer, and we'll get it for you. Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It's wrong. Every one of them are wrong. That's how I know yours is wrong. I've been looking at them since the 90s. I've yet to see one that's completely accurate. So people that sent me this information, they paid off $20,000 in debt using Etsy. So it's one of those online apps. Talking about being connected, using an app called Etsy. There's still ways of making money in America. You've just got to get out there and try. I was really proud. My oldest son decided that he wasn't happy being a personal trainer, but he still needed the money from that while he's getting his financial services career intact. He said not Etsy wasn't his deal, but he went and just became an Uber driver. Mm-hmm. It's still a way. America, if you really want to work hard, you can make money in America. This garbage that we hear from our friends on the left that they're trying to suppress everybody and give everybody handouts. No, it's not about handouts. It's about hand up and taking a little ingenuity and taking personal responsibility. Maybe that's what we've been talking a little bit about. Sometimes you need a little help with that personal responsibility, and there's nothing wrong with putting your hand up and saying, hey, I need some help. That's what we've been chatting a little bit about this morning with Tanya Brown. We're going to continue our conversation. Is there a problem with asking for help?
No, not at all. You know what? If I didn't, one, my suicide attempt was interrupted by my sister Dominique, but I had the wherewithal to say, get me the heck out of here before I hurt myself or someone around me. So at that point in time, I did ask for help. I said, get me out of here, because I knew I was not in a safe place. If we don't ask for help, people do not know that you need help. And we live in such a me society and a very entitled society now where people aren't going to pay attention to you unless you say, hey, I need help.
What about the other side of it, though? When you see somebody that you think needs help, you don't want to insult them. What do you do you go and approach them?
You know what? I think, are you okay today? I'm sensing something is off. I think when we say, how are you today? I think that people go immediately, I'm fine. I want to start hearing, how are you today? You know what, today I'm really tired. I'm not having a good day. You know what, if we don't say it how it is, I believe in fake it until you make it.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to be real with yourself. And I think if you lie to yourself too much, then you're working against all of you moving forward. So I really want to hear, and I actually heard this from somebody standing in line at the local supermarket where this checkout lady said, how are you today? And the lady said, you know what, I'm having a really bad day. I got fired from my job. And I looked at her and I said, that is the best answer I've heard all day, because we live in such an autopilot society. So if you're recognizing somebody is not doing well, take the time to ask, how are you doing today? Not like, how are you today? Not casually.
Right, because so many times we
how are you today?
Yeah,
like, you really care?
Exactly. That's the whole thing. That's the question I hear. I think I contemplate a lot. Is, do you care?
No, a lot of people do not care.
It's just a conversation piece.
Exactly. So, like I said earlier, I'm all about ruffling the feathers. So it's like, tell them how you're really feeling. Let's start living authentically. When somebody says, how are you today? I go, well, I'm on this side of the dirt.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm on the right side of the grass.
I'm on the right side of the grass, right? I'm here, so I'm doing something right. But you know what? Life is hard. And life stands in the way sometimes of our happiness. So it's just reaching out and being real and getting authentic. Beyond my Tanya formula, in the back of my book, Finding Peace Amid the Chaos, I offer 12. It's kind of like Tanya's 12-step program.
Okay.
And these are tools that I've learned when I was in the psych unit. So I'm not reinventing the wheel. So, it's like one of them is called getting real. Get authentic with yourself. If you're not doing okay, it's okay to not be okay in this world. But I think we're so used to living behind a mask and pretending that we're okay to everybody all the time. And next thing you know, your friend's committing suicide or they're in the local rehab. So get real and be authentic with yourself. But I go back to your question where if you're sensing that somebody is not okay, take the time, be slow, and don't have a casual conversation. How are you doing today?
Yeah, think about the alternatives, right? You might look and say, something, I don't want to insult them by questioning them. But then what happens if they do commit suicide?
Right?
Then you say, boy, I wish I would have questioned
said
them.
Something. Exactly. So I just say, we're hearing about suicides every single day, at least in my world.
Right.
I am. Every single day of a suicide and a fatal overdose. A day doesn't go by. So really, I would rather take that chance of maybe insulting them just a little bit, because just by me asking that little question, I could have saved them. Because maybe they just got done writing their suicide letter. Maybe they just were getting ready to pop a whole bunch of pills. Maybe they were just ready to commit murder. Who knows?
Right.
But us taking the time and saying, how are you doing today? Notice the tone, notice the body language. Not like, hey, how you doing?
Well, you're saying it in a sincere way where,
Right.
where somebody's going to say, hey, Tanya really cares.
Yeah.
As opposed to it being the what's happening type of a thing.
People don't take the time to care. There's an organization in San Diego that I just love, and it's called Difference Makers International. And it's this woman, Sparky, we call her Sparky, Halise Bridges, and she created a little gold ribbon, or a little blue ribbon, and written in gold says, "Who I am makes a difference." Something simple like that. Posting a little sticker over their heart and saying, I just want to let you know who you are makes the difference. I did that to a homeless man. He was asking for money, and I didn't have any cash, but I had a blue ribbon in my wallet, and I gave it to him, and then I just said, I don't have any money, but I have this because I want to let you know that who you are makes the difference. And I walked to the stoplight. I got a tap on my shoulder, and he goes, that's the nicest thing anybody has ever said to me. Because we take the time to say who you are matters. Who you are matters. We just, like I said, we live in such a me, what can I get for me society.
Right.
And you don't know what difference you can make in somebody's life.
And look at how that fits right into the Tanya formula.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just showing that little bit of nurturing
Kindness, talking to somebody, whether it's help for yourself or somebody else, appreciation, attention on the positive, nurturing yourself, I'm kind of scattering my name everywhere. But it's common sense. It's common sense. We just need to implement it.
Well, and it's back to, I think, turning the clock back 50 years or 100 years. Right, where we
maybe even 15, 20 years.
Right. The days when we didn't have the cell phones, we didn't maybe even have telephones, we didn't have the cars, we weren't in the rat race.
Yeah.
Right? Getting back and like you said earlier, breathe.
Breathe. The other day I had a conversation with my mom, and because there's always chaos in the Brown. There's always chaos in our house, if not in our house with the people that we know. And she said to me, because it had to do with somebody a family friend of ours who has a lot of money. And she goes, I don't really know a lot of happy, wealthy people. She goes, my mom grew up with very little. She grew up in the war. She got bombs dropped on her in World War II, probably by my dad, but she says, I don't know a lot of happy, wealthy people. And it's because they always want more. We always want more. And my mom is all about simple. And Denise says, Mom, you need to have a phone now because your grandchildren and all of that. And she just said to me in this conversation, she goes, I hate having a phone. She goes, I just want to keep life simple. And having a phone and being connected and all of that, she says it was so much more peaceful.
Amazing.
Simple. Keep life simple.
That's our takeaway. Keep life simple. Great information. Thanks for sharing.
Yep.
If you want to get more information on Tanya or her books, go right to our Facebook page. We're going to put all the information there. Be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A very big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember my mantra, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
XAKA Music 900 AM Kita Bata Lipunan.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.